I've just received a new delivery all the way from America, and it's fair to say that this thing could well split opinion and is going to be rather contentious. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Guys, today I have a golf club which, to be honest, looks absolutely unbelievable. And I saw this online and the guys reached out and said, James, do you fancy doing a little bit of a test on this club? And I said, I would absolutely love to, because this is potentially the hottest topic, so much so we've double bubble wrapped it in golf today. Guys, this is the Axis One putter, and putters at the moment are very, very hit and miss in that we have lots of different lie angle balances, lots of different brands trying to make putting easier for you guys, because we all know that putting is a game within a game, isn't it? So guys, we're going to get a couple of first opinions and first looks on this. I think it's stunning. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I think there's a couple of things that some people may not like about it, a couple of things that the Lab Golf fans may not like about it, and a couple of things that the PXG Allen fans may not like about this putter. So you see, I think it's fantastic that we all know putting is well known as, it's incredibly well wrapped this as well, a game within a game, isn't it? So if we can make this game within our game that we all love so much a little bit easier, all of a sudden we can now all potentially start to play better golf, start to lower our scores. And the big key here, the huge factor which so many people forget, we can enjoy it more. Because that's why a lot of us play, that's why a lot of us kind of traipse round on a Saturday morning or a couple of hours after work. Guys, can I have a favour? Can I give you that?
Yeah, right.
I've got a pocket full of absolute garbage, literally. But I feel like we're going to get a couple of first impressions of this putter today. I'm going to test it in the lab and see, do you get it, lab? Laboratory. But as soon as Axis One did reach out and say, James, do you fancy testing this putter? It's very, very forgiving. It could help your game and we'd love to kind of show it to your audience. I says, absolutely. There's 3 different types of these putters. And as you can see online, I don't think they're a bad price. Right, we've done it again. We've been on the 18th green and someone's coming down. I do this all the time. I apologise. I hope it doesn't ruin your game. But I feel like being able to test this outside and inside for forgiveness could really, really help, because I always think there's 3 keys to putting. So you want to be able to have your read, so you know where to aim. You want to be able to have a good start line, and then you want to be able to have good distance control. If you can do all those things right, you're going to hold more putts, you're going to 3-putt less, and you're going to lower your scores. So out here on the putting green, what kind of putts do we have here? I must admit straight away, I don't expect it to feel as good as it does, to feel as soft as it does. We have that kind of milling on the face there, which does give us a little bit of audio feedback and that lovely feel. And for the price, like I'm going to do a big comparison here. I'm going to test it against the Lab, I'm going to test it against an Allen, and test it against some of the other putters that we know are coming out that are kind of lie angle balanced or have a little bit of a tech story to them. And Lab fans, don't worry, we're going to do it. We're like, chill, we're going to do it.
I think the big thing that upsets them is when people claim it has the same technology.
Yeah.
If they're transparent, I don't think they mind.
No.
Wow.
Tell you what,
Solid.
it does. It's a confidence filler.
Yeah.
I think, like, I stand over here and I'm like, you know what? I feel like there's that much help. I don't really need to worry too much about kind of MOI or anything like that. And could this be the answer? You know, if you're really struggling.
Well, I think, you know, the days of answer putters have gone, and there's technology there to help now. And I think you've got to buy into it, James. You've got to be looking down this route, and
Well, you're either going to be the guy using it who's getting this, even if it's a marginal gain,
yeah,
or you're going to be the guy who's left behind, aren't you?
Well, I just think, what's point in buying a blade anymore? You know, what is the point?
You having a go?
Yeah. I know when I've done putter videos and talked about live balance putters and bits and pieces, and I don't know the technology because we have just literally unboxed this one, but people said, well, I've got a pair of hands, you know, that can secure the putter and keep the club face square.
Yeah.
But if there is extra help, why don't you use every bit of extra help you can get? That's what I think anyway. Yeah. I think in other sports you see it, that they're always searching to try to make the game easier. So if there's technology there, I think we should try and use it. It's like you said, oh, we get left behind, don't we? When I'm buying a putter, the big thing for me is feel. If I like the feel of it, it's got a chance. And this is definitely not one that I put back down on the shelf because it feels, you know, really nice. When you
Do you think it feels better than it looks like it should? Does that make sense?
I wouldn't have bought this on looks. If I'm buying this, I'm buying it because I'm buying into the technology.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously, trying to get my putter stroke better, you know, trying to improve my putting stroke basically and eliminate as much rotation, I would imagine, as possible. So but I know, I mean, I'm just going to do a longer one because I can tell you now the feel of that putter is good enough for me to be able to play a lag putt if I want to. It's just a nice feeling putter. You know, you can't do that with any putter if you don't feel right. You can't just knock a 20, 30 foot putt and put it within a couple of inches.
And that could be the big difference here, because if you struggle with long putts and then you can go and do that, that could be a big advantage to you moving forwards. Now, before we do jump inside and properly test this Axis One putter, you'll see there are lots of different options. There's the Elite Series, Shadow Series, 2.0 Series, and of course the Tour Series. I have the Shadow HM 2.0. The Shadow Rose looks fantastic as well with that kind of number 7 shape, and I think these look fantastic. Axis One aren't scared to say they were the innovators of this story, so of the zero torque technology, so much so Justin Rose has had her in the bag for quite some time. The technology that does go into these zero torque putters is really, really interesting. As you can see, they feature a foam filmed composite back which provides unmatched acoustics and feel whilst maintaining perfectly balanced, and I do feel like you get that feel as well. It has the heel counterweight that is designed as well to keep the club face square through impact, and then finally they also feature that shaft axis, so that is perfectly aligned with the putter's centre of gravity, creating the zero torque and perfect balance. So guys, testing this putter outside is all good and well, but I want to see just how forgiving it really is. So we brought it to the man, the myth, the legend. Chris, how are you?
Very good. Yourself?
Have you seen one of these before? Axis One Tour HM.
No, I've seen it on TV, but
Look,
never in person.
I think it looks really, really good, and I'm interested to see today just how forgiving it potentially is, because Justin Rose has used an Axis in the past. I think he might still be using one at the moment. And these are the new ones where obviously lie angle balance is a massive thing now, isn't it? We've got the Lab putters, we've got the PXG Allen putters, we've got more lie angle balance putters coming from different manufacturers. But really we want to see just potentially if it is the way forward. So we're going to test it on Capto and see really just how forgiving it is. And if potentially it could help me, could help you, could it help Bobby?
No. Right, we're on. We're loaded.
Thank you very much. So KBS Tour putter
A nice
shaft
shaft on there. Good finish.
I think of all the
Nice grip.
of all the kind of mass tech putters, I do feel like this is one of the better looking ones. They almost like tried to hide.
Can you take the back of it off?
No.
Is it not adjustable?
You know what? I've not even thought of that. Well, they do the different heads, so I wonder if that's how they. I wonder if they mass produce the front bit.
Yeah, like the even rolls do as well. Good pull. That was in. Left one. Change the target. Let's see.
So guys, this is something anyone can book. You can come down here, see if your putter's right for you, see what's happening with your stroke. I always like to see how much kind of energy loss I'm getting and things like that, because that tells me potentially how forgiving the head is for me and how I'm stroking at the moment. How's that first one, Chris?
Not too bad, but let's get an average. Good stroke there, so good tempo. Numbers look good. I know that just missed there, but let's go short one. We'll do them twice. So
and being a putting coach, have you seen a rise in people coming to you with putters like this?
Yep, so certainly a trend. Obviously going to these, the zero torques, the obviously zero twists like the Allen. You've got the Lab putters, SICK putters, even roll. Believe are bringing one out as well, according to Mr. Jones.
Is that embargoed or is it not?
Ooh, we don't know, because Mr. Jones is ahead of the curve, it seems. So there's all different putters coming out, or rumoured. But yeah, certainly plenty of options now. That's a good roll.
Yeah, it does. It feels really, really good actually. And even testing it out on the golf course, it was an interesting period to look
Let's
at.
go one more short one. So we've got 2 short, 2 long. Again, because sometimes they can be good on longer putts, not as good on shorter putts. And this is where obviously these putts are the ones that you hole out and lower your scores. And maybe beat Gary Martin one day. Good putt. Right.
Most days.
Let's get an average. Let's see. So average there. So numbers, a lot of green on there. Good angles that, Bob.
That looks really good, doesn't it?
So path out to in, so 0.4. So green is in tour average. It's slightly closed from setup, so 1 degree, but again, that's in the tour tolerances. For me, acceleration is good, tempo is good. One thing, we're hitting up on the ball. We're not losing much energy, which again, you can see here, so 4.1%. But a big thing is going to be, obviously, that is going to affect the strike on there potentially. So that's something we would look at. Obviously just the lie angle, but that's going to be more setup than it is the actual putt.
Okay, so really impressive numbers there on the Capto system. And Chris, obviously if you were going to fit someone for a putter or someone came to try a putter and test out where the game is, I guess you'd spend some time inside, but majority of the time would be out here, would it? Just seeing what kind of performance that we get?
Yeah, because numbers are all good. It's the same as your TrackMan numbers with your full stuff or any launch monitor, but you know, it's how it performs, what it does out on the green. Does it feel good? Do you get a consistent distance control? Obviously inside you're on a different surface, just like you are if you're hitting off a mat, for example.
I do feel like this potentially takes some of the skill element out of it. With it having that little kind of kink in the shaft, I'm almost not worrying too much about what's happening with my stroke, more just thinking about distance control.
Yeah, you can't deviate as much, so this will be the way probably putters do go. So obviously your beginner golfers, probably you guys who are handicapped maybe going in the wrong direction. I think a lot more people will have these putters because there's less movement on the face, there's more control, and obviously where that ball potentially will start. And then obviously you have to get your green read and your pace right.
Will it be, do you think we'll get to a point where there has to be a rule on how far back or how far forward the shaft can maybe go?
I think so. I think they'll look at that, obviously, because they don't want to take all the skill out of it, because you still do have to obviously have a green read and you still have to be able to control your pace. But if this is getting you starting the ball online more, maybe there'll be a certain extent.
I do feel like this one, it feels nice. Like I don't feel like I've got this really helpful putter in my hands. It just feels more like potentially it's a good looking, good feeling putter.
And again, the roll is good on all of these putts, so face is certainly a lot squarer with this. Not saying that it isn't with any other putter, however.
I'm really impressed with this. Guys, if you are in the market for a lie angle balanced putter,
where can you get fitted for this putter, James?
I don't know, to be honest.
Has anyone been fitted for this putter? I'd be also interested. Good putt.
It does take some getting used to, and I think at the start of this video when we're looking at the kind of first impressions, I was very impressed with the feel and the look of it. And now that we've kind of been in the studio, we've talked a little bit of tech, we've spoken a little bit more about what it can offer, I feel like more and more that I'm not sold on it, but certainly more of a believer in the technology than potentially I would have been. So that's one thing to bear in mind. That roll's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is end over end every time. Ooh, keep the shadow out. That was just a bit of a push.
Funny thing is, as soon as I stop lining it up, I don't feel as confident.
No,
I feel like
interesting.
if I line it up, if you send those back, certainly I feel more about just not straight back, straight through, because we know that's a bit of nonsense, but more that way.
No, but it shows that obviously if you don't take your time, if you still don't set up and have your routine, that although this putter can help your face control, it's not going to help if you don't do a normal routine and line the ball up.
Ooh, can't buy that one, can I? So I guess this is where potentially as well it could really, really help, because this is a pretty much straight uphill putt. So if I'm thinking here, these are the putts that quite often a lot of people don't get. So the rest of the putts I can put down to green reading, I could put down to not being able to get the kind of right line on them. But when you know it's a straight one,
But also
is-
percentages, those were, you know, 8 feet and 15 feet, so
Yeah.
the percentage of making them is not great, but if you can improve this area, if you've missed the green, chipped up to this distance and hole a few more, then your handicap's going to come down.
Yeah, these are the round builders, aren't they, that we always say. Definitely food for thought. Guys, if you're in the market, make sure you do check out the Axis One putters. I've really enjoyed that. If you'd like to see some more of them, get in the comments below and let me know. We'll speak to them and get the other ones ordered.